Hey y'all, welcome back to Colorful Situations where we are doing a recap of episode 15. It's complicated.
Is complicated, and it is always complicated when you do this, right? What we talked about was when you take your friendship and you cross that line to lovers land, or you just blur that line a little bit to be with your friend to see what's on the other side, and then it becomes real complicated when it doesn't work, or it becomes complicated when your feelings get involved and you can't go back. It becomes complicated for the friend group because now the friend group doesn't, know how to act if y'all break up. What side do we get on? So yeah, it
All
becomes
down, all all thumbs down because who has time for that? Who wants to do all of that? No, on the episode I was looking at it and I think I told you it was like I was saying was no, no, no the whole time. No, it's a no. That's it.
yeah,
It's a no.
yeah. You was very set and firm. Like once you my friend, that is it. I'm not even looking at you that way. I'm just not even gonna go there. We just ain't even talking. You just don't even think about it. That is
That's my story, and I am sticking to it. And I know that we did have some comments. Thank you for the comments.
hey,
We had our faithful commenter, which said that yeah, she had been in this relationship, one of these types of relationships, but it wasn't really a relationship, and the friend thought it was really a relationship, but she didn't, and she was just having fun, and she was just looking for a way out, and at the first crack, she just took off
nope.
running and never went back. Oh my goodness. Now that's even more to have to come back from. Like you're thinking that it's something more than what it is, and I'm just having fun playing games. So now we definitely can that's I should have asked that question. We definitely can't be friends anymore now because
Yeah,
now you have to explain and I'm gonna be wondering what's going on because I'm probably heartbroken or something. I don't know. No.
yeah, you're,
No.
you're right. And so, and in that situation, thank you, I love this commenter first of all because
Mhm.
the vulnerability and the transparency that she
Mhm.
actually gives in this is so great because at this big old age, we realize that maybe we've been on some dumb shit. Maybe we've
Yeah.
been on some stuff that we should not have done. And now we can look back maturely and say, that's just not what we want to do. You know,
Right.
she, she went into it and was like, okay, what the hell? I'll just go on in here. You my friend. We just, let's go on and see what's happening. But the friend had way more feelings for her. And that
Mhm.
is kind of the complicated thing about it too, because somebody does end up genuinely just really feeling some type of way about them or the other person, and the person may not just be there, right? That goes
Right.
back to me saying, what's your intent? Know what your intent. If your intent is just to be like, well, I've always wanted to know what you was like. So let me just try it out. That may not be a good thing. And you said that yourself. Like, make sure that it is a sure thing. Make sure that you know that your intent is the same intent as theirs. Make sure that your feelings is at the same levels as their feelings. Like, let's be mature about it and see before we just jump into this thing.
But I think that, even though you could be friends and you could start off with the same intent, like,
Mm.
all right, like you were talking about some drunken night, all this other kind of stuff, and then, whatever that's about. Um, it starts off as that drunken night, and then we keep having these nights, and then they're not drunk anymore, and then I'm still over here, and you're just falling in love because we know all of
Yeah,
these things. We're spending all this time, we're doing all these things, and
yeah,
it's just it's a lot. And that's why I think it was good that the other commenter that said if you have any kind of romantic feelings, y'all probably shouldn't even be friends unless y'all are gonna move forward with making it a full blown relationship. And I totally agree with that. So
I agree too. Like, hey, if you know deep down that your friend could get it, or if you went into this friendship
Hmm.
knowing that you side eye looking at your friend like, damn, you
Right.
know, or if you been with your friend and because people evolve, people change, and things are different, and then now you're looking at them more romantically or more as a possibility. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's gonna
Yep.
be very hard for you to be friends when you're looking at them as a possibility from the jump.
And you putting yourself in the danger zone. You in danger, girl. You in
In the
danger.
red, all the
Yes,
way,
exactly.
all the way in the red, because that's a colorful situation. That's a colorful situation to go into something thinking that somebody is gonna be a potential for you, and that person clearly is not a potential because they're not free on their end, or they're not even thinking about you that way. They're just genuinely being your friend, but you done
Hmm.
already got the wedding set date and all how this, that's
Because you
something
know
else.
how these things, get to rolling and going, honey.
And
Everybody
we,
know what that U-Haul is and all of that kind of stuff.
baby, look, we making it 6 months,
Backing the
and
truck
month,
up,
I already got the date and what we gonna do, where we're going. You know what I
colors.
mean? Yeah, but that's because you already looking at them as a potential, and they don't even know that they're a potential or don't even want to be a potential. So let's just be very careful of that. And I think the one thing that we didn't hit on, most of these things that are become friends to blur the lines into like relationships. If you don't, like you say, fully take it there and be a relationship, that becomes a situationship. And situationships are colorful situations because that's all they are. It's just situations. There's no room for growth. There's no nothing because you started off on something that was just, oh, you're a maybe. Like, you know what I mean? If you know fully, full hearted that this is somebody you want to be with, don't be in a situationship. Go ahead and be mature enough to figure out if you want a relationship. Be in a
Mess,
relationship.
messy,
Yeah,
messy, messy.
yeah, and we touched on it a little bit with me saying in my experience that I totally was in a situationship, totally was in a place where it was like that person could not claim me or didn't, want to because they were not out, they were straight, whatever.
Hmm.
But it was a situationship. We did everything up under the sun, but didn't call ourselves in a relationship. And that just, you know, I said the other experience that I had too, where I had a friend where we did everything together. Had a key to the house. He had the key to my house. You know what I mean? Could come and go. Did everything that a relationship would do, but we didn't have no titles. We wasn't a friend. And for whatever reason, I wasn't picked to be in that relationship. She went on with a relationship with someone else. Kudos to them because they worked, but that situationship they're just not the best, especially at this big age. Be mature about it.
And I'm sticking to my story. I have an emergency key. I don't have a key to where you come and go as you please. If you got a key, it's only for emergencies. I'm not
Yeah.
putting no gas in your car. I'm not going to get your brakes done. Going to get. I'm not. We going Dutch. No, no expectations on either side. I don't like it.
But there are those friendships that you can do some things for. Like when
Yeah.
you're like we've said before, yeah, we go on little dates or stand in an ice cream date or you know what I'm saying, like something where we know I got your back because I know you've had mine plenty of times. Or I know you down in the dumps and I'll be like, well, let me rephrase it. She knows I'm down in the dump and she be like, hey girl, get your ass. Come on, we gonna go. And she go, do things for me. But that's because it's of the kindness of her heart and because she is
Mm.
not her. She is honest. She is encouraging and she is reliable. So she's going to do those things for me. But it does not have any kind of uh strings or any kind of, oh, I want this back in return. It's simply because she is embracing our friendship. And I embrace her
Hmm.
that way. Yes, there can be friendships like that, but there is no blurred lines. And that's when it becomes complicated.
And it's one quick thing. Interestingly enough, I was at my barber the other day and I was telling him about the podcast for the first time. And he was like, well, I don't know if he asked, is Mo all right with that? And he was like, because y'all spending a lot of time together. Well, how's that happen now? What if one of y'all? I said no. I said it's interesting that we are having the episode that we are about to release is about just
Yeah.
that. Is about that same thing, and
Yeah.
I have really clear boundaries. I'm black and white. I'm black and white when it comes to that, and we don't have romantic feelings, so it's not something that we're worrying about.
And
Hmm.
here's the thing. The thing is that you can be mature people, right? Do do we know that we got some nice looking friends? Yes. But because you know you got a nice looking friend don't mean you gotta be Googling, looking
Right.
at things that way. And just because we're spending time with each other, we're cultivating a bond together, and we have a genuine care and love for each other, does not mean it is gonna go in the other direction. You know. Now I do know that to his point, sometimes there is a thing called emotional bonding where you can be emotionally bonded with somebody else and not your partner. But you have to be mature enough to do the work in your own relationship to cultivate what you need in your relationship so that the other side don't come in and give you what you're missing. That's where things start getting complicated. And the
Or,
thing is, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, or that you're not searching out, you're not seeking out that
Yes,
from another person. So yeah.
yes, because you're already cultivating in your own relationship. And that's a good point. There's nothing that can happen in you and your wife's relationship because you're spending time with me because you already know what you got. You're not seeking
All
out
right.
anything like that. And what I love about what we've done and how we're setting things up is that we've had those conversations. We know what the boundaries in our marriage is, and we know the support that we have. You can't really mess nothing up when you got somebody that's 100% supporting, and they
Yeah.
they know you spend a lot of time. They in it too. They talking
Right.
about you. They're talking
Right.
about it. They know what's going on. They know the schedule just as much. They're pushing you to do the schedule. They're pushing you to record. So
Right.
it's all about being mature and having that conversation. But thank you, Barbara. That was a good point. So we also had the question for the week, as we always do, and the question was, can a friendship turn into a romantic relationship? And it was 50-50. Some people was like, yes, you know, you have mature conversations and know what you want or whatever y'all both wanted. And some was like, hands down, hell to the no. It don't work. What's your
Hmm.
take?
Personally, it's a no. But I have seen people go into those relationships with these people that they've been friends with for years.
Hmm.
And like I said in the episode, some of them worked out and some of them didn't.
Yeah.
And then the ones that didn't, it kind of, it took a while for them to come back around to being these friends. The way that I look at it is if you were intimate one time, two
You can be
times,
it
three
again.
times, like I said, spread the wide, land it low, spread the wide in my head. And we know I'm not mature sometimes. But in my head, that's like always, I mean,
Mm.
how can you not? Ooh, girl, I remember. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. I'm not, I do a lot.
Maybe,
So
maybe you had that experience and you be like, okay, it was a great experience. You're a great lover. But you're better as my friend and I'm better as your friend and I'm okay. And I'm not gonna look at you that way because I know I've been there, done that. I don't need it no more. Like, it's
Ooh,
okay.
you were the greatest lover I ever had, but
I didn't
we're
say
better off as
greatest.
friends.
I
Now
didn't
come
say
on over
greatest.
here, wifey. Now come on over here, wifey, and meet my old friend.
Now, here's the thing. Here's a good question. Is there an expiration date on that? What if that experience was 15 years ago and now y'all are friends again? Your wife is coming around. 15 years ago, you ain't did nothing. 15 years, you have not did anything. You're not going to do anything. You can't still be friends with that person 15 years ago. Like, and I didn't say you the best lover ever. You're good at what you do, but you know, it didn't keep me there because let's be frank, those physical relationships, those physical actions are something that gets you, you're attracted, you're pulling in or whatever. But you have to have, and we talked about this before, you have to have more than that to hold me. So if all you really got is just that, it's not gonna hold me, and I'm not gonna want to go back.
Ooh, time. When I look at time, I don't want to say that time doesn't matter to me because I know that you build relationships and friendships over time. But when it comes to I was in a relationship with someone at one point, it's
Mhm.
just you were still in a relationship.
Mhm.
So I don't want to I don't want to have to deal with you were in a relationship because you think about it. People that have been friends for 20 and 30 years, they all they do is reminisce. All they do is reminisce about you. If you go talk to one of your childhood friend, your high school friend, now y'all gonna talk about something that happened in high school, whatever happened to old Johnny, Keisha, Kim, Pam. All y'all doing is reminiscing.
Yeah,
So
reminisce.
this is my thing, just kind of like, no,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, but like I said, we're not doing any. Now I'm gonna say, I have in the past
Hmm.
I tried to do it. Oh, okay, well let's hang out. But then it's no. Because then it came to that okay, we reminiscing things and we
Yeah,
kinda not necessarily falling back into old patterns, but just because
yeah.
I already got my eyes open. I already got my eyes open. So it's kinda like, wait, what you doing? Oh no, she got somebody to do that for you. It's me. No,
Yeah,
don't go back. Don't go back.
yeah.
But that's part of my
Control.
side, that other side of you. Yeah. No, not control. No, not control. Just what I don't like.
Oh,
What I don't like, yes. And what has these wheels turning? The
yes,
thing that gets these wheels turning.
yeah,
And yeah, no.
yeah. No, I get it because here's the thing. The thing that it really comes down to is even 15 years later, when you are being friends and you're bringing your other around, you gotta hold your relationship, your current relationship, at the highest, most point of respect. And how do you do
Hmm.
that when you're, like you said, reminiscing and saying this and that person feeling like they can do this or that because they've known you for so long, whatever.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I get it. I do get
Hmm.
it. And it's just not the best.
And another thought that I just had was, so I know the people that's gonna say I'm not mature about it. You got trust issues. I said before, I trust my wife to the fullest. I just don't know what other people got going on. And
Yeah,
to keep all of that stuff out of play and out of the relationship and it becoming an issue, let's just not.
that's
So,
fair. Because ultimately, you know what works for your relationship, and you know what you're building. So that's fair, and it does come down to that, right? And that goes
hmm
back to the resolve that we had. The resolve that we had was like keep it real. Like think think about what it is. Think about your friendship. Think about your current relationship. Think about your future relationship. Is this gonna be an
hmm
issue? Is this gonna be a problem? Weigh it out. see if it's really a golden ticket. Only go for the golden tickets if you know that they're really gonna be good situations. And then be real about it. Be real about your intent. Is your intent really gonna be something that's gonna be a full forward thing? Or is it just something right now? Is it because your friend looking good because you don't have nothing right now? You're tired of being lonely and you just want your friend to be supportive with you in a different type of way because you need touch? That's a real thing. Don't do that. Like, let's be
Mhm.
real about our intent. So it really does come down to those results.
Okay, y'all. Well, that's our quickie for the week. We want to thank y'all for stopping by, sitting with us. Be open and looking out for our new episode on Wednesday. And
Yeah.
remember,
Not all colorful situations are the same, but you have the power to change your head.